You are live. Those are three good words I get to hear and see before you get to hear and see. Hey, this is Sporty King, and I'm just coming on early. The broadcast starts at 1, so we got less than 3 minutes. But I always like to introduce people and let them know that my philosophy is that I like to come on and give Facebook a chance to build the audience. A lot of times people would say they would rather come on when it's time to come on. But what I noticed is if you do that, you still tend to come on and say, okay, well, let's wait for a few more people. I choose to come on early. So remember, you've got options with technology. Neither way is necessary. Track. Oh, okay. All right. No, okay. We're back on track. Woo, that was close. All right. Yeah, boy, you hit one wrong button and that's the end of the road. That was me hitting. I hit the button because I'm also doing this live on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, welcome and thank you. And in the process of getting that straight, I hit the wrong mouse. Okay, I also come on early so I can do my shout outs and get them. Hey, all right, we got them coming in. What's going on, Diane? Homegirl in the place. How did voting go? I sent you a message on that, but it went well. Because actually, I think I voted before you. Last Thursday was North Carolina's first day for early voting, and so I went and voted on the first day. You know what? It took longer for me to stand at the voting machine than it took for me to get in and leave, with me, picking my candidate. So it went well. Thank you. I'm glad it went well for you. Hey, what's going on, Vic? Hello to everybody. That's the way we got to go. What's this? The AI loves to mess with us. Yeah, artificial intelligence, but that's the beauty of it is that we mess with AI as well. And what always happens? We always win. Man, now look, I'm trying to be technological here. I got this going on there it is. I got this going on my other page as well as YouTube. So we'll see if I can do it all. And what's going on, Pat? Sporty Sport, right? Oh, man. See, old school people, when you grow up with somebody, they can nick your nickname. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about all of us that have grown up in Grand Projects. We had a ball. So I'm good, Pat. Good to see you. And go on. Hello, Roger Carroll. My sister here in, I'm saying here in Charlotte because she's going to be coming to Charlotte. But I met her in Chicago, and we've been spiritual brothers and sisters since then. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. Let's get started. And welcome to Glue Wednesday. If this is your first time, the glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. And this is my interactive day where I'm going to be really depending on you to put stuff in the thread so that we can kind of have a technological discussion. So even as Victor said, AI can get you, artificial intelligence can get you, but guess what? AI needs us to turn on the power, okay? So always recognize that you should not lose to technology. I know I never let myself lose to technology. And I know Roger Carroll and I were laughing off of this broadcast, and I thank you for that blessing. I had said to her something about making this technology. She said, well, you said we always have to get the technology to work. Yeah, old school. We've got to understand the technology. So make sure you pick that up and figure it out. Okay? Look, meanwhile, we opened up the month of October by looking at 3 letters that we saw in the second of what I call the Burr months. And the Burr months are September, October, November, and December. And so that's what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about glue. We're going to talk about glue. We're going to talk about glue. God's love undoes everything. And each week, what I'm going to do is something similar to some of you may remember me doing the alphabet series, where with the alphabet series, each time we took a different letter. People gave me words that began with that letter, and I incorporated them into the next message. So we co-authored, so they can put that on their resume. They can use it in an interview. Say, I co-authored a Facebook Live broadcast with Sporty King. Hey, put it in your back pocket. You never know when that might be something that can help you. All right. But each week, what I'm going to do is we're going to discuss in our Burr month, we're going to discuss the question, what will you do to keep it together? Because, right, God's love, GLUE, is about the fact that we have to keep it together. So what will you do to keep it together? And each month, as we talk about that, we're going to use a different letter. And this month with October, last week we used the O. This week we'll use the letter C. And what I want to know is, what will you do? So be thinking about what will you do to keep it together? Because a lot of people talk about what are you doing to keep it together, or what have you done? But what will you do to keep it together, okay? But first, a fun literary fact, because I always like to put some literacy in there, all right? So we're talking about the letter C today. And so what the letter C is, often dates will be preceded with a C or a CA. These are abbreviations of the Latin word circa, which we've all heard, which means around or approximately. We use this before a date to indicate that we do not know exactly when something happened. So when you see circa something, it's because we do not know when it happens. For instance, C 400 BCE means approximately 400 years before the Common Era. Approximately 400 years before the Common Era. And AD stands for, we've heard AD, it stands for Anno Domini, Anno Domini, which is Latin for in the year of the Lord, referring to the birth of Jesus Christ. And now here's a little extra to that literary lesson. BC stands for before Christ. See, AD is after Christ, but BC is before Christ. BCE, in case you think that was a typo, 400 BCE. BCE stands for before the Common Era. Before the Common Era. Now, the Common Era is according to East Sussex 2017 Religious Education Syllabus states, BCE, before the Common Era, and CE, the Common Era, were first brought into use in the 6th century and are now used in order to show sensitivity to those who are not Christian. Meanwhile, many Christians perceive BCE and CE to be an affront to Christianity. So even when we know something, there's still some debate about it, but at least we can have an idea of where that came from. So I had actually never heard of BCE myself till I looked this up. So that's why I thought I'd put it in our literary fun fact. Moving on. The letter C. Did you know that the letter C, there are 3,000 words in the English language beginning with the letter C, and that's tied with the letter M for the most words beginning with a letter in the alphabet. The number one letter, by the way, is 12,000, begin with the letter E. So just another fun fact to put in your cap, because you never know when you're going to need that fun fact. All right, so let's move on and talk about today. And what we want to do is notice that I put a meme up today. Oh, oops, I forgot that I redid this. Give me a second. Let me get this back in here. Okay. Share my screen. Get that in there. Bam, bam, and bam. There you go. I put up a meme today that said, focus on what you do well and comment on how you'll get better at challenges. See, so focus on what you do well and comment on how you'll get better at challenges, because we're focusing on the letter C today. So that's what I want you to think about. And that's what I want you to now start putting in the thread. But first, what you want to see is two things. One, focus on what you do well, because again, we're saying, what will you do to keep it together? And comment, there's a C. See, just talk about how you'll get better at challenges. Talk about it, and because once we put that into, words are powerful, and what you focus on, you ferment. And so once we put that into our vocabulary, what we end up doing is now, okay, I'm just trying to get this out of here. Good. All right, now, oops, come back. Oh, my bad. Okay, well, we'll move on. All right, okay. So now, now that we're in the power of words, say what you're going to do to keep it together, which is also, again, why I wanted to have it put it up that way, all right? So, all right, focus on you do well, and comment on how you'll do better at challenges. So let's get the first one on there. What can you control? Put that in the chat. What can you control? So what will you do to keep it together? Well, tell me what you can control to keep it together. And I'll go slow because I'm going to be watching 3 cameras and to see what we get from you. That's our first C. What can you control as you focus on what you will do to keep it together? Okay, so far nothing's popping up in the thread. So that means y'all are typing with your thumbs. That's okay. What you got? Here we go. All right, Roger Carroll, I can control my actions and reactions. And that's a wonderful, good place for us to start, because what can you control? You. Things are going to happen. So you have to be ready to control your actions, and it's certainly your reactions. But it's great that you put actions first, because reactions a lot of times also give someone else control. But if you control your actions, then you turn them into a reaction that gets it back. So make sure that your reaction doesn't stop there where you just now, they did this and I just did that. No, they did this, I did that, and now the ball is back in my corner. And those is but we have to control our actions and reactions. No emotion is wrong. However you're feeling, whatever you're going through, it's right. It's our action and reaction to it that makes it right or wrong. Great. So thank you, Roger Carroll. And we can control our judgment. That's a great key as well, because judgment comes from where? It comes from how we've been socialized. We have judgment on someone else's actions or reactions because what we don't know about them. So we decide all of these people are that way, all of those people are this way. See, we make judgment. One of my daily prayers is that I could be less judgmental, because I know I'll never make it to be a non-judgmental. And I believe that all of us have a touch of that if you think about it, because what judgment is, there's a cliche that we all like, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That's actually judgment, because what it's saying is, once you scam me, the next time someone who looks like you comes to scam me, I'm going to put up a wall. I'm going to be judgmental. Oh, here comes that scam again. I'm not going to let this person do that to me. But now what we have to do is now get back with Roger Carroll, our reaction. Remember I said, now put yourself back on offense. Get back and say, okay, I reacted with my wall immediately, but I know this is not that person that scammed me. So I am going to, I put up the instant wall, but now I'm going to allow myself and that person to walk around that wall and learn a little bit more about them and what's really going on, so I don't get fooled twice. All right, thanks, Vic. I can control my out of the house time to prevent myself from getting the virus. And this is great, because now, again, totally reconnecting. What will you do to keep it together? Yeah, when this virus is over, it's not over. When it starts to be in control, that's what it will be. It will be more in control, but it will not be over. So don't say, oh, they said it's over. Let's get back out. Didn't they say we're in the 3rd wave now? So no, don't just jump back out there, y'all. And then wherever you go, still double check. I got to give a shout out to my barber, Annette, because I sent her a message saying, okay, how are we doing with that schedule? She said, look, let me get back to you. I think, we think someone in the barbershop tested positive. So let me get back. Because they had been open back up for a little over a month. And then she got back to me and said, nope, turns out they did test positive, so we're shutting back down. So check. Don't just go somewhere. Check someplace and see. Restaurants, find out what they're doing, what their new capacity is, how much outdoor seating they have. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. So keep preventing yourself from getting it. My daily self-care. Yeah, oh man, you got to take care of yourself. Number 1, take care of you. You can't help anybody until you help yourself. So please, and make it, what did you say, Peggy? It's a daily And it's a routine, a daily routine. We learn through repetition. And so when we decide to take care of ourselves, it has to be a routine, something that we're happy to do. Not begrudgingly taking care of ourselves, but how can you help others? And I know Peggy's one of those people that likes to help others. Peggy, I just thought about you the other day, 2 days ago, exactly 2 days ago, because I met a woman who's a professor and she teaches pharmacy at a university in Tanzania. And so as we were talking, I was talking to her about, she wanted some tips about speaking. And I talked to her, she was saying, I want to be able to make the class interesting. So catch this, y'all. I said to her, are the students, and this is at university, I said, are the students that take the class, are they forced to take the class, or are they future pharmacists who want to take the class? And she said, oh, no, they're not forced. They want to take it. I said, well, then why would you think it wouldn't be interesting if it's something that they want so that they can use to further their career? And she said, wow, see, we have to just watch our vocabulary. And I thought about you, Peggy, because Peggy was one of the people that gave me one of my first paid speaking engagement, talking to her group of pharmacists. I don't believe you're in pharmacy anymore right now, Peggy. Throw it in there with you're in. But I had made a poem for Peggy and her group, and I remember the tagline. It said, "This is what your drug dealer should look like." And it had a spot for each one of them to put their picture in a frame. So thank you, Peggy. Yeah, take care of yourself, your daily routine. My voice went out, so y'all not hearing me right now? Oh, it's back. Thank you, Vic. Okay. All right, good. All right, thank you. Woo. Practice washing hands habits. See, so you back to that. Thank you, Pat. Keeping it, control how you go out, and then also make sure you practice the rules, the guidelines that CDC is putting down for us. Distance is important at all times. There you go. See, we're hearing all this stuff, and this is just a great time to remind ourselves that we want to continue doing these things. Okay, so that's great. Thank y'all. So there's a lot of stuff with control. All right, let's move on to the next word and see, how will you compete? I must have a twist in there. How will you compete? We talked about what you can control. How will you compete? BRB. I don't know what that is, Pat. Okay. And thanks, Vic, for letting me know. So I'm glad my voice, hope the voice is still in there. How will you compete? Because now that you've decided when you're going to go out, what kind of precautions you're going to take, well, you still got a world to deal with. You still got other people, So how will you compete for a new job? To be able to take care of yourself, because you're going to have someone who's trying to stop you from doing that. Oh, back. I even still don't know what that means. Back? How will you compete? Back? Oh, back. Is that meaning that my voice is back? I hope that's what you're meaning. Man, technology is something. And see, me trying to be all technological suave, I got the YouTube going, and I got my Facebook business page going, and I got this page going. So I thank y'all for your calm. See, there's a calm while we're going through this new technology. But that's what you want to do, is get better at it every time. Okay, Vic, how are you going to compete? By being able to communicate with the computer instead of in person Zoom. Not instead of, I had to throw a little correction in there, as well as. Not instead of, but as well as, because we will not stop having to compete or communicate through Zoom or technology, and we will continue to communicate in person. But it's not instead of it, and then again, that goes back to what Pat and you had said earlier. You don't just jump out there and this is the way it is now. No, it's an addition. So what are we going to add to it? Great. You had to leave the So you had left and came back. All right, Pat, welcome back, Hazel Eyes. I love you, okay? Compete by striving for my own level of excellence. I compete with my own last best effort. There you go. So Roger Carroll is consistent. There's a C, consistent. All right. I can control my actions and reactions. I can compete by striving for my level of excellence, and I compete with my own last best effort. And by the way, that's also why I had C and compete in this little grouping, because I always tell people I don't compete with anybody else. I compete with myself to be better than I was the last time. And if you go back to what Peggy said about self-care, that's what you have to do. You have to compete with yourself. Self-care, as I talked to you about having a routine, you have to get better and be happy about taking care of yourself, which is physically, mentally, and spiritually. And so that's a competition. Because as you're trying to take care of yourself, you've got other options on your plate, and you've got to find a way to prioritize based on what? Based on your needs. So compete with yourself to be better than last time. And that, because a lot of times what we'll do is we'll beat ourselves down for something instead of lifting ourselves up. Stop beating yourself down. You made a mistake. Nobody's perfect. The path, what do you say? You got it there, Roger Carroll. Excellence is the goal. All right? Excuse me. So compete by striving for my own level of excellence. Meanwhile, if you've been watching my Monday morning moment, I call it because it's so tasty. That's what I call it, the Monday morning moment, to keep you moving on your path to excellence. See, excellence is a wonderful goal. It's attainable, it's repeatable, and it's something that you can strive for, and it's just a wonderful thing to get. So make excellence your goal instead of perfection. Vic, I had to leave and everybody's having a little, say good. So it's just technological day. Because I also had some problems sending out some text messages. My iPhone wouldn't send a text message. So yeah, well, Vic, like you say, AI is on the case. All right. So here's what AI is on the case, but AG is always on the case too. All good. Right, all good. And what does that do? That also reminds us, go back to the word challenges. I love my word challenges. Challenges is just change with an LLE in the middle. CHALLENGE. Challenge is just change with an LLE in the middle. So we can be challenged, but we've got to come back to AG and make sure that we know that it's all good, because we can make things all happen. All right. Look, anybody else on it? I'm glad me, Vic, Pat, Roger Carroll, and Peggy are having this conversation, but the rest of y'all, come on and jump on in. Not a problem. Hey, look, even if you're watching the broadcast, put some comments in the thread, because you never know how someone else may benefit from reading what you wrote. Isn't our lingering reputation what helps somebody sometimes? So put your comments in the thread, even if you're watching this on the broadcast, because you don't have to see everybody you help, but you have to know that you help everybody who sees you. You help them make a decision for or against. Against or for. And really what my apology was there, I like to put the negative first and always make the last thing that came out positive. I compete with my financial countdown to credit card free. Wow, a few more months. And you know what I did? So we got to double check this. I just signed up for a new credit card. But you know what? I did that because I had heard that your credit score goes up. We tend to think, oh, no, I don't want to have a lot of credit cards. Your credit score goes up depending on, I'm trying not to use the word having more credit cards, but that is the word. So it's not about you trying to have too many credit cards, but a good amount, a balance of credit cards that show that you owe the banks, but the key is to keep your payments up, so that showing that you've got this extension of credit, you've got X amount of credit in your favor, and showing that your payment history keeps up with that. So that helps your credit score. That's going to help you if you're looking to buy a house. That's going to help you if you're looking to finance a car. That's going to help you, with a lot of different things. Again, that's going to help you keep it together, all right, when the pandemic starts to cease. So always think about it, but there's certainly nothing wrong with being credit card free. But then you have to make sure that you got cash. I keep my, and then even once you get credit card free, you'll still have those cards. And then the key is having access in an emergency if you need to use them. So even if you tear up your credit card, it's still on the books. Once you pay it off, it's still on the books. And so if you have an emergency, you'll still be able to get to it. But yeah, competing with yourself with your final countdown, because once you start to see it, you say, oh, I got money, I can do this. Yeah, and now it goes back to doing what Roger Carroll said and what I kind of chimed in on. Compete with yourself. Compete with yourself. Let's take a sip. Okay, so let's come up on our last word for the words that I'm throwing in there with the C. All right, and our last word that I'm throwing in there with the C is who's holding your camera? Who's holding your camera? Now, you know what I mean by that, and I'll let you know that in advance. You're always being watched. You are on camera. Somebody is checking you out. What are they seeing? Are they seeing someone that they want to emulate, or are they seeing someone that they definitely don't want to be like? Are they seeing someone they definitely don't want to be like, or are they seeing someone they want to emulate? Okay, who's holding your camera? We are always being checked out. And one of my favorite sayings is, and it's my belief, choose your messengers carefully and recognize that you are carefully being chosen as a messenger. Somebody is admiring you, and you may never get to see the person whose life you bless, but you are a blessing. So keep remembering that, and thank you for being a blessing in my life. And I'm glad to know when you tell me that I'm a blessing in yours. That's what we do. It's a wonderful give and take. So who's holding your camera, and what will you do to keep it together? In other words, another way of thinking about that is, like I hear the commercial where the people say, I don't wear the mask for me. I wear it for my children, for my wife, for my husband. So people talk about who they're wearing the mask for. So who's holding your camera? Who do you know that's checking you out? And so I'll give you the obvious, easy one, especially if you're parents and grandparents. It's your children, your grandchildren. For me, it's my nieces and nephews as well. So who's holding your camera? And even as we think about, we take that camera, we connect that to our other C's. We connect that to what can you control? Can you control who's holding your camera? Yes and no. Yes and no, because you can put yourself in an environment where someone's checking you out, or even where you want to be checked out. But you also have no control where, but this is a positive no control where you don't know who's checking you out. And see, so who's controlling the camera is a huge thing. But it goes back again to what Peggy said about self-care and your self-care routine. If you're taking care of yourself, you need to know that you're on camera and someone is checking you out. And so that's one of the things that you might want to think about. I like how long it's taking everybody to put something in the feed for this one. And you know why? Because sometimes we don't think about it. And that's what we want to do, is get on offense and think about who, we're certainly living for ourselves, but who else? Who do we consciously know we're influencing? Vic had his travel clients as he guides them to their destinations, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're in business for yourself, you're only as good as your last customer. And it goes back to what Roger Carroll said about, competing with yourself to be better, as you work towards your personal excellence. So that's the key, is your reputation is so important, y'all. It's so important. So I also, a word I used that wasn't on our list was calm. Calm your spirits and think about the things that you say, because somebody is being impacted by you and someone's listening. So it is important to try to keep your stress. I've been certified as a stress mastery educator, so I don't say keep. Excuse me. I don't say keep your stress manageable. I say keep your stress masterable. You can master your stress. How? By just changing your definition of how you see stress. Recognize that stress is a force that is helpful to you. Because we tend to automatically think about the negative stress where it's making people sick. But stress also means a couple of other things. One, it means that you really highlight. I want to stress this point. It means I want to really make this clear about where I stand. But also, stress is what makes you stronger. When you're doing exercises, stress is what makes your muscles get more in tone. When you have a test and you're studying for the exam, that's stress. But it's because it's going to make you better educationally. See, so that's good stress because you're putting yourself under that stress so that you can perform at your best. So don't let stress only have a negative connotation for you. Make sure that you recognize that as you redefine stress, you master it and you let it, once it comes into your life, because it's coming. There's no such thing as having a stress-free life. That's just a cliche. You have to have stress. And so when it comes in, say, welcome stress. Here's how we're going to do today. Roger Carroll, my daughter, my family, but the community that I connect with. Church members, yes, daily Zoom contactees, fit family, Soras, many friends. See, man, the list can just get so long when we stop to do what? Think about how important we are to other people. And that's not a conceited or a self-centered thing. My overall belief is life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece in every one of your family, social, or business relationships. Yet, no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. So we need you to know that you're an important piece of the puzzle and claim your piece. Claim your piece and know that all of these things that Roger Carroll mentioned, and see her as a puzzle piece and how all of those things have to connect. All of them have to connect, and she has to connect with them as well as you do. And what Victor talked about his clients, the different puzzle pieces. Here comes my word calm again. When you recognize that you're an important piece of the puzzle, sometimes realize that you are the nucleus of your puzzle. I said you're a small, medium, or large piece of all of your family, social, or business relationships, but your puzzle, you are the nucleus of your puzzle. And what does the nucleus of a puzzle have to do? It has to be calm and it has to wait for the puzzle to build to it. Because we start out a puzzle building the borders and the outside, see? The guidelines in your life. What do you control? What can you control? Who's on your camera? What was that? What was our second C? Control, camera, and how we compete. See, so we build our puzzle in. So we have to be calm, and sometimes that's what prayer is about. Let things come to you before the connections work for you. So have that calm over your life. Goes back to Peggy's talking about self-care. It goes back to Pat talking about controlling how much time she spends outside of the house once the pandemic has started to subside. See, it goes back to everything that everyone said. And that becomes the key. So there's so many more people that you have to recognize that are on your camera that you need to really know. They're holding your camera. Someone is checking you out. And wouldn't it be joyful to know that you have accepted being on camera and therefore you are living up to what they see in the camera that they have called you. Now, what am I saying there? Am I saying that we need to do what, be so busy, pleasing other people that we forget about pleasing ourselves? No. What I'm saying is that we have to recognize that how good we are will be much more of a benefit to everybody we're holding the camera for, who has us in their sights. We will benefit them so much more when we make sure that we take care of ourselves. I know I'm on camera right now, so I'm going to act properly. I'm going to make this work. Be conscious. This is the game is being played, and you can't play from the stands. So somebody is checking you out. Come on and be good and help us get through this. And so that's and this does not mean the pandemic. It does not mean the election. It does not mean the day. Yes, it does. It means the day. It means that everything, you have to make sure that you're working to get through the moment. Remember, the real moral behind the Three Little Pigs is not what type of a house you build. It's about the fact that the storm is coming. And you have weathered so many storms in your life. Are you giving yourself credit for it? Because that's what we do. That's the control we have. We can control our reactions, our actions and reactions to the storm. We can control how we compete with the storm. We can control how other people see us react to the storm. And then when we're finished doing all those three things, what? We can control our calm in the storm. When we're finished doing all four things, what? Another storm will come. And we've got to control, compete, camera, and calm again. We are good at going through storms. Please pat yourself on the back and get yourself through the next storm, because it makes a difference for all of us. This is this life. That's right. This is not dress rehearsal. This is the only life you get. See, on TV, we get to see different lives that the movie stars live, and they're living for us. But that's not us. This is the only life you get, and it's not dress rehearsal. You don't get to go change your outfit every 15 minutes when the commercial comes up. And it doesn't switch back and forth the way you want it to, all right? Take your time and enjoy this life. Again, that's what glue is all about. Recognizing that God's love undoes everything, and you'll be able to keep it together. You'll be able to keep it together. You've been keeping it together so far. There's nothing that says you won't continue to keep it together. So as we wind down, let me see if we got anything else in there. Excellent message of the day. Take care. There's the C. And again, care to all. You got it, Vic. I sure am winding down the message. All right. And, we want to make sure that we are carrying the message to someone else. I hope you're sharing this with other people and helping other people grow, because you never know who needs that help. All right. So please share the message with as many people as possible. And recognize that I'm growing in my ministry, because that's what it is. It's a ministry. Whatever is your gift is also your ministry. What are you going to share and help people get through? What are you going to do to keep it together? I love coming up with that. All right. You can catch me again on this Friday. I do my Gift Friday, God is for Today, at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. And what that is, I'll use one of my original poems, and I'll read that and make that the message of the day. I try to keep that as a 10 to 12 minute message. This is the interactive day, so that's not interactive. That's just a great message. Then you'll be able to click on a link and get your own downloadable PDF, colorful PDF copy of the day that you can have. And then Monday, I'll do the Monday Morning Moment, 1 to 2 minute inspirational message that will just come up, and it'll start your Monday off. Then we're back here next Wednesday with Glue Wednesday. God's love undoes everything. And there we're going to put another thing on with Roger. Know that we are all able, and there's another C, capable. We're all, even if we were to mispronounce capable to capable, which means that when you're able to put a cap on something. So that your reaction, you can put a cap on it, means that you can stop it. But it also means that you can put a cap on it, you can dress it up. The English language is a beautiful language. And now that was what I was talking to you about, mastering your stress. When the stress comes, reframe the stress. Say, hey, okay, you're here stressed, but you know what? I'm capable. I can put a cap on it. I can find an end to it. I can dress this stress up and make it work for me. See, that's the type of thing that we have to do. That's what I like doing. I love, playing with the English language and using it to my best advantage. Okay. Also, sportyking.com is my website. And when I do these broadcasts, I also post them to YouTube. Please do go to my YouTube station and subscribe as well, because that way you can watch any of these broadcasts sequentially. Whereas on Facebook, you have to scroll down the page till you find one again. So, that's a great way, I think, for you to share it. But when you share it to somebody else, share it through YouTube, and that'll be a great help for me as well. Also, send people to my website. That will, that's a great place. There's nothing to sign up for, just plenty of inspirational message that they can go to and bring joy into their lives. So thank you for bringing joy into my life. We're getting out of here early today. But time is something that we always have. There's a book called The 1 Minute Manager, and that was one of the taglines in there, is that everybody says, well, time is something that we have. And true, we say you don't know how much time you have left to live, but it goes back to what Roger Carroll said, this life, this is this life. So this is our time. This is your time. Try not to get in a depressed mode. If you do, make it 30 minutes, an hour a day. Try not to have a whole bad mood day. Things are tough, but you're tougher. That's why you come onto this broadcast. That's why we hear glue. God's love undoes everything. It really is about God's love for us. So let's make sure that we are recognizing that and seeing it as a blessing rather than a curse. So thanks again. God bless you. And I will stay on just a minute more because, like I say, I know the feed has a time delay. So there's always the chance that you might be saying something to me just as I log out and cut your comment off. But I think that we got everybody on there, all the comments, and I'm quickly looking on my other page. And so we'll close that out with with Vic telling us all goodbye. So we are in good shape, y'all. We done good. Yes, we did. All right. Man. AI was in AG. All good. It was in our favor. All right. Thank y'all. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Over and out. Ooh. And I'll still, but next Tuesday, the 27th, I'll be doing a keynote for Professional Edge Toastmasters. It's a free event. It's called How to Get an F in Leadership. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up for that, I'm going to throw that link in the thread as well as you've seen it as a reminder on several of my posts as well. And then I'll also put it in there on Friday, since I didn't announce it much sooner on this one. Okay? Thank you. Excellent Tuesday. Yes, Vic, thank you. Yeah, that'll be on Tuesday. Cool in the gang. I'm going to leave that comment up there from Roger. Know we're all able and capable. I like that as a way of, again, addressing the C in October. Okay, over and out. Ciao.